Hello, magical people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Meg Moonbeam, and wow, what a day. What a start to the week. What a Virgo eclipse. Happy equinox. Oh my goodness, there's so much going on. Hope you guys are all doing really well. My name is Meg Moonbeam, and today I want to talk about another astrology prediction of mine that has come true. Trump and RFK Jr. on September 22nd, 2025. I predicted to the day what was going to happen over a year ago, made an announcement on autism. So in today's video, I want to break down how I made that precise astrological prediction and also do a little bit of an analysis on this crazy ass press conference that I'm sure a lot of you guys have maybe seen the clips. If you have not seen any of the clips, I'm going to be sharing some of them, not going to be sharing the entire press conference. I've personally watched it 2 times in full so far. I wanted to do a live reaction last night, but myself, Jens, Sunny, and Dan were driving back from Northern England to Belgium. We were on the road the whole day, and we arrived back in Belgium about an hour before the press conference went live, and we were absolutely wiped. So sorry I didn't do a live reaction video. I really wanted to, but I'm here today, the day after Tuesday, September 23rd, and want to break this down with all y'all. So for those of you who are new to my channel, I am a Western astrologer, mystic, and musician. And please remember, you guys, I really appreciate when you like, comment, and subscribe to my videos and my channel. And if you feel like sharing, I would really appreciate that as well. If you'd like to check out my personal astrology readings, offerings, all of that is in the description box of this video. My readings are available over at my website, megmoonbeam.com. And also over on the Scorpling shop, Sunny and I still have our Starseed Crystal collection. Almost everything is sold out. We do have some space gems, space rocks still available. And we've been getting some really cool reviews from some of you guys having awesome experiences with the Moldavite, Libyan desert glass, the Tektites, as we did. And, you know, Sunny and I had really crazy experiences when we first started working with the Moldavite in particular and the other Tektite space gems around our like full-blown starseed awakening. That was in 2012, 2013. So you can read about our descriptions on the scorplingshop.com. Go catch that collection over there. I see we have Sweden in the house, French Riviera, Colorado. I also want to mention that my husband Jens has a new weekly show that is going to be starting on his YouTube, Rumble, and is it also your X channels, Jensi? Let me know. Jens is helping me moderate. Oh, wow. Jens has hit 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. Congratulations. Oh, also on X. So yeah, if you want to follow my husband Jens, who, for those of you who don't know, my husband Jens is an expert in all things conspiracy, spirituality, alternative information. He's even written a published book called The World in Transition in English and Dutch. If you type in Jens Pateo into YouTube, his channel comes up. Congratulations, Jensi, 5,000 subscribers. And also his new weekly show, Freedom Frequency. I love the title. Hope you guys love the title as well. So subscribe to his channel and he will be live. What time is it that you'll be live? 5? Is that our time, Yancy? 5 p.m. Eastern or 5 p.m. GMT? Let me know. He's typing in. Okay, at 1 p.m. Eastern time, I guess every Wednesday, Yancy is going to be going live for his new weekly show, Freedom Frequency. Yes, it is a cool title. You guys can go check that out. So, okay, want to start with a little, because some of you guys may be going, what the fuck? Okay, how was Meg able to predict over a year ago? And I'll explain what exactly my prediction was. So actually, I have 2 predictions. So for those of you who've been following me for a while, then you will know for over a year. So I can't remember the exact month. I'm sorry, you guys, please forgive me. But over a year ago, I said September 2025, when we have this eclipse season with the eclipses on the health axis signs of Pisces and Virgo, the crazy ass aspects that we have going on of positive aspects between all the outermost planets. a lot of really intense things, we are going to see major positive advancement in the health field. I said this will likely have to do with either cancer, autism, both, or other things as well. And I think there will be a major cure for something coming up. Now, for those of you who haven't seen the press conference that President Trump and RFK Jr. did yesterday on Monday, September 22nd, and I'm going to share some clips in a little bit. They did a press conference yesterday on some of their autism findings. And this is one of the things that President Trump wants to accomplish in his second administration here between 2025 to, is it 2029? Is that correct? He wants to pinpoint what are the causes of autism, stop those, and bring cures as well. So that was part one of my prediction that came true. And we'll get into how they did announce a cure yesterday. It did have to do with autism as well. Now, there's parts of it I'm disappointed about. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Okay, I'm a Scorpio, so I'm no BS. There's things that I'm really happy with in regards to the press conference yesterday, and there's also things I'm not too happy about. Okay, so we're going to break some of that down. Second part of my prediction, for those of you who have been following me for a while, may know that on multiple different videos and shows in the past few weeks, I said that I feel Monday, September 22nd is going to be the day that they do this press conference. Okay, so let's bring up the chart. Why did I pick that specific day? Well, we've had an eclipse season in the month of September 2025. We had our first lunar eclipse in Pisces, September 7th. We just had on Sunday, very intense, which we're still in the energy of, solar eclipse in Virgo. Virgo, okay, rules health and the health field. All right, Pisces in astrology also rules health. Pisces is more spiritual health, health institutions. Okay, whereas Virgo is just overall health and the health field, right? So I felt, with this being a Virgo eclipse at a critical degree, new moon, solar, new beginning, sun opposite with hard aspects. We're having very hard aspects right now, okay? Sun opposite Saturn and Neptune with Mars square Pluto. I feel it's going to be on this day because it's the day closest to the eclipse, weekday, Monday, where you have these hard aspects, because this is going to be something not easy for people to hear. Okay. And whatever side of the aisle you are on, I think that there are people that are disappointed right now. There seems to be the disappointment, the anger, the frustration, the conflict, Mars square Pluto. Okay, now what I have up here is actually the chart for the moment when they started the press conference, Mars 0 degrees Scorpio. So there can be very intense feelings coming up for some of us right now. Okay. And shout out to all my mamas out there. Okay. All the mothers and fathers and family members and friends of autistic children. You have every right to be angry and upset and frustrated. Okay. I personally think there's several causes of autism. And if you guys listened to the press conference yesterday, some people are saying, fuck Trump, fuck RFK. They just said Tylenol is the cause of autism. Fuck them. That's not the only thing. Okay. I'm disappointed too. And I'm going to get into why I'm disappointed. I'm also happy at the same time. They clearly said in the press conference yesterday that Tylenol is causing autism based on studies that they have done within this administration. And you guys forgive me because I'm an astrologer and I'm an artist, creative person. I'm not super technical. So if there's anything that I say in today's video that's not technically accurate, please give me grace. Let me know in the comments. I watched the press conference 2 times over, lots of clips. From what I understand, okay, and let me know if I'm wrong, they're saying that based off of studies that they've done within this administration time, it is without a doubt clear, and they can report now, that Tylenol use in pregnant women is causing autism. Now, not the only thing causing autism. They also said, and we're going to play some clips, that vaccines, can I even say that on YouTube? Am I going to get my YouTube banned today? I hope not. Please help me, technical overlords. I may have to be careful. We'll see how this goes. But they clearly talked about shots. I'll use the word shots several times. And RFK Jr. said they're going to start looking more into shots. And this is the first of many press conferences that they will have on causes of autism. So this is not the only cause of autism, they're saying. It is one that they can say for sure, and they will be doing more. And this makes sense with the astrology. Sun opposite Saturn, that's an adverse aspect. Saturn is delays. Delays. So there's a delay. Many of us are disappointed because many of us just want to hear Trump and RFK Jr. scream off of the fucking rooftops. Quack scenes are causing autism. I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely one of those people. I have a family member that is vax injured from her COVID shot. That is a fact that I am living with in my real life. I do astrology readings almost every single day for people internationally all over the world. I get messages, emails, talk to people one-on-one every day, comments on my videos. I'm constantly hearing people say that their children developed autism directly after getting shots. Many of you I know feel the same way. Some of you might not feel the same way as me, but that is my experience. Actually, I have 2 family members that are shot injured. 2. And sorry if I'm a little bit speaking all over the place, you guys, because this is a really big energy right now. I hope I'm making sense. Now, on my weekly astro weather video that I did on Sunday, I said, whatever's going to happen in this press conference, there's going to be something shocking and unexpected about it as a leading cause to autism. Okay. Now, I know that there's been some people in the past week have been posting about the Tylenol thing. There were people before the press conference started talking about the Tylenol thing, right? For me personally, I did not know, and this is because I have not been pregnant yet. I am not a mother yet. Hopefully one day I am blessed with having children. I have not gone through the experience of being pregnant yet. And I've never heard from a pregnant woman before that they were advised to take Tylenol during pregnancy. So for me personally, that was a shock. And I also talked to my best friend, Sunny, who's also a woman. Neither of us knew that pregnant women take Tylenol and are advised to take Tylenol. I would have made the assumption that you would be not able to take Tylenol. To me, that's just common sense that you wouldn't take something like that, right? So I feel like, and let me know how you guys feel, but I feel like a lot of us are shocked. There is a shocking factor to hear. Okay, many of us thought it was going to be, they were going to talk about just about the shots today. But Tylenol, it is kind of a bit of a shock to actually hear them 100% Tylenol use in pregnant women is causing autism. And I'm seeing a lot of people online upset about that because we want to hear that the shots are the main reason. But I feel, and this is just my personal feeling of my common sense, I think there is not just one thing causing autism. I think it's multiple different things. Yes, the shots are a huge freaking part of it, and we want to hear that screamed at the rooftops, but makes sense that Tylenol does as well, and there's probably a bunch of other stuff as well. Right? And there's a lot of different elements to this. So, I mean, the astrology is real. It's literally in the charts right now that we are going through a huge revealing Pluto trine Uranus, Pluto sextile Neptune, Pluto sextile Saturn, revealing of harsh, uncomfortable information, Pluto, and we're pissed off about it and we're frustrated and there's a delay, Sun opposite Saturn, about the whole scope of the truth. But at least it started. So for me personally, I'm happy with the press conference. I'm grateful that we're at this place where that just happened. There was literally a press conference yesterday with the President of the United States and the Health and Human Services Secretary saying, don't take Tylenol. I think that's amazing. I'm disappointed that the shots were not a part of that exact revealing too, but you guys are going to see in the clips I'm going to show you, if you haven't seen them yet, they brought up the shots a lot. So they alluded to that. And okay, we'll take them for their word that this will be the first of many press conferences. Now, I'm not totally happy with Trump right now. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Okay, I personally like Donald Trump. I like RFK Jr. At the moment, I am disappointed that the Epstein files have not been released yet, and that he keeps on saying Operation Warp Speed was one of the best things that we ever did. I'm sick of hearing it, as I'm sure many of you guys are as well. And again, I have one of my closest family members vaccine injured from that shot. Right? And in saying that, I'm also open. I'm trying my best right now, you guys. I'm a very intense Scorpio. I'm a very passionate person. I'm trying my best right now in these very Piscean times where the whole truth is not yet revealed. I've been saying this for years, right? I'm also aware that maybe there's something going on that I'm not aware of and we're not all aware of. And there could be things going on behind the scenes and things are being done in a certain way. I'm open to that. Okay, but at a certain point, we need justice, we need arrests, and we need the poisoning to stop. So that's where I'm at. I want action and accountability. And I'm very happy. The astrology is showing that's coming. We're in it, and that's coming. This fall, and this is the last thing I'll say, and then we'll get into some clips and analyze it. This fall and winter, Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, back in Pisces and Taurus. Beginning of 2026, bam, we're going fully by, is it April? I can't remember exactly. Someone let me know in the comment. It's either April or May. I think it's April 26th, 2026, when Uranus fully moves into Gemini. I think it's April 26th, 2026, when all the outer planets are out of their fucking water and earth signs where they've been, why it's been so heavy since 2018. And it feels like we've been in the mud. We're about to get out of the mud, but we need to be patient right now. Okay. Yes, Lynn says, bring on the fire and air. We had a taste of it this year. I'm ready for us to go full blown. Let's do this. Because all this Aries, April 2026, we have a huge stellium of planets in Aries. I am so ready for that because this is action and we're moving forward and people are getting out of the mental delusions. And we finally, next year, will start to get real clarity about what the F is going on here. There's so much confusion right now. It's nuts. Okay. Chrissy, hi Chrissy. Chrissy says, love when Meg goes full on Scorpio. And sometimes I get told I'm being too intense, but I just, I'm a Scorpio with Pluto and Scorpio, Mars trine Pluto. At a certain point, I want justice. I think we all feel like that. So I'm trying to be patient. But it's important for us to be grounded. It's important for us to not look at people like heroes and there are saviors. That's the dark side of Pisces. Okay? Fuck that. So, okay. This is from Larry Kook on X. The autism announcement of September 22nd, 2025. Number one, they recommend no Tylenol for babies when they are given shots. Number two, MMR given as 3 separate shots. Okay, this whole spreading out the shots. Again, I'm not a medical expert. I'm not going to get too into that. Also, not something I'm very happy about. Okay. Probably makes sense if you're going to take them to take it separately and not all at once, but I'm not saying I don't support shots. So that's me personally. Some of you may unfollow me. Some of you may not like me saying that. Again, to reiterate, I have 2 family members shot, injured, and I've done the research into Children's Health Defense, been following RFK Jr. for years. Okay, you can do your research into that. Number 3, label Tylenol should not be used in pregnancy except for emergency. Number 3, remove aluminum from shots. So we are talking about shots. Number 4, spread shots over 4 to 5 visits. Number 5, hepatitis B shot only recommended for age 12 and up. Number 6, validated autism moms who know shots are responsible for their child's autism. There's something also missing here, which is number 7, they literally announced a supposed cure called leucovorin, I might be saying that wrong, for autism. And that was part of my prediction too. So we'll see how that goes. This is from the White House X account. In the last 22 years, autism rates among children have increased nearly 400%. It's time to make our children healthy again. 400%? Okay. Robert W. Malone posted Autism Action Plan. I won't read word everything that says, but number 1, informing doctors and families. FDA will issue a physician notice and initiate a safely labeled change on acetaminophene. Okay, I can't even say that. Tylenol, basically. 2, making a therapeutic available. 3, increasing research investment. And RFK Jr. said this will be the first of many press conferences in the unveiling of our findings on what is causing autism. This is a tweet when Twitter was not X, but it was Twitter, March 28th, 2014. President Trump posted, healthy young child goes to doctor, gets pumped with massive shot of many vaccines, doesn't feel good and changes autism. Many such cases. And he said that in the press conference. So let's take a look at some of these clips. So this is him talking about the Amish, right? President Trump told the mainstream media directly that certain groups of people who avoid shots and medications show virtually no cases of autism.
And by the way, I think I can say that there are certain groups of people that don't take vaccines and don't take any pills that have no autism. Does that tell you something? That's currently, is that a correct statement, by the way?
There are some studies that suggest that, yeah, with the Amish, for example.
The Amish, yeah, virtually. I heard none. See, Bobby wants to be very careful with what he says. And by the way,
and it was interesting how there was definitely some sort of tension going on between President Trump and RFK Jr. during this whole press conference. At least that's my spidey senses and perspective. President Trump And it's so weird because, and it's so Gemini too. On one hand, he's basically alluding to don't take shots. Then on the other hand, he keeps saying Operation Warp Speed was one of the best things he's ever done. I hate hearing that. I want to stop hearing that shit. Then we've got Bobby, who's been studying this stuff for years, literally has written books, was a part of Children Health Defense, literally a trailblazer in the vaccine injured autism community, showing a lot of restraint. And he was very red and he was sweating a lot. And President Trump was saying, Bobby, I hope I don't ruin your day. Bobby wants me to be careful. Why, Bobby? What's going on? What is going on? Is this because he wants to have all the proof, proper proof and studies? Is this because, you know, we're unraveling mind control and they have to do one thing at a time? Is this because, like, what is going on? So it's interesting. There was a tension going on. And I also felt, okay, and I actually need to bring this chart up. This is something else I want to bring. I have a little theory on something. Okay. President Trump seemed really like he wanted to go full blown into saying shots cause autism. Right. And he was kind of going there, but not totally going there because he's still talking about Operation Warp Speed. Now, I'm not saying Barron Trump is autistic, but there is an astrological possibility here that not only has President Trump had experiences with, he talked about employees in the press conference last night when he worked at Trump Tower that would come to him crying, saying they just vaccinated their child and now they have autism. He talks about he has several friends that have kids that have autism after they had shots. He said this, right? But I kind of had a feeling, why is he so pissed off about this? Could it be that his own son has autism and that hasn't been publicly said? Okay, this could be me being way too conspiratorial here. But just putting it out there, I just want to put it out there. And some of you guys may have seen my September 2025 eclipse season workshop I did for all 12 signs that's available at the link below. I said in that over 3.5 hour workshop, Barron Trump, there's going to be something big with Barron Trump over the next 6 months because the eclipse is exactly conjunct his rising sign at 15 degrees of Pisces. He's got a big fat Pisces stellium, a 12th house stellium. Okay, Pisces and Virgo are the most prone signs to health issues. And in my personal astrological opinion, autism. So I'm not saying for sure, I think Barron Trump has autism. I'm just kind of playing. I just have this feeling that there might be something more going on there. Maybe this also has to do with why we've never heard Barron Trump talk. Why he's never been in an interview. He's a 29-degree Pisces sun. That's not easy. So that's kind of a side theory that I think is a possibility. We'll see about that. Okay, let's move on to another clip here. Oh my God, very intense. Okay. From John Strand on X. Wow, President Trump is standing up to Big Pharma. He says vaccines need to be spread out. We want no mercury in the shot. We want no aluminum in the shot. The MMR should be taken separately. There's no reason to give a baby that's almost just born hepatitis B. Let's take a little listen.
You know it's artificially induced. It's not like something that When you go from all of those, healthy babies to a point where I don't even know structurally if a country can afford it. And that's the least of the problems. To have families destroyed over this is just so terrible. I also, and we've already done this, we want no mercury in the vaccine. We want no aluminum in the vaccine. The MMR, I think, should be taken separately. This is based on what I feel the uh, mumps, measles, and all the three should be taken separately. And it seems to be that when you mix them, there could be a problem. So there's no downside in taking them separately. In fact, they think it's better. So let it be separate. The chicken pox is already separate because when that got mixed in, I guess they made it four for a while. It really was bad. So they make chicken pox. Individually, they're okay. When you mix them, something maybe happens. So there's no downside in doing it. It's not like, oh, if you do it, bad things. No, it's only good side. And it may not have that much of an impact, but it may have a big impact. So let those be taken separately. And then hepatitis B is sexually transmitted. There's no reason to give a baby that's almost just born hepatitis B. So I would say wait till the baby is 12 years old and formed and take hepatitis B. And I think if you do those things, it's going to be a whole different, it's going to be a revolution in a positive sense in the country.
Very strange. It was also very Neptunian, confusing, Uranian, kind of weird, all these strong, intense aspects, right? Yes, there is negative, President Trump. You cannot say that it's all positive when so many of us, and even maybe some of you guys watching, are shot, injured from, have autism from shots. So many of us know this from our personal lives, right? So this is the part I agree with a lot of what President Trump is sharing, but this is one of the things for me where I look at this and I go, what the hell are you talking about? Right? And why isn't RFK Jr. It was very, his delivery was strange. Why isn't RFK Jr. talking the whole time as the Health and Human Services Secretary? What the heck is going on here? This is from Vigilant Fox on X. Let me bring this up. Oh, Reiki Stacy says RFK Jr. is hard to listen to due to voice. True, but I have seen him do very long press conferences. Right? Donald Trump just talked about shots for 3 minutes straight. Okay, let me put this on
Go for the shot.
a faster speed. This is another clip we're going to take a listen to.
I'll say that they will maybe say at a little bit later date, but I think when you go for the shot, you do it over a 5-time period. Take it over 5 times or 4 times, but you take it in smaller doses and you spread it out over a period of years. And they pump so much stuff into those beautiful little babies. It's a disgrace. I don't see it. I think it's very bad. They're pumping, it looks like they're pumping into a horse. You have a little child, a little fragile child, and you get a vat of 80 different vaccines, I guess, 80 different blends, and they pump it in. So ideally, a woman won't take Tylenol. And on the vaccines, it would be good instead of one visit where they pump the baby, load it up with stuff. You'll do it over a period of 4 times or 5 times. I've been so into this issue for so many years just because I couldn't understand how a thing like this could happen. And it's artificially induced. It's not like something that when you go from all of those, healthy babies to a point where I don't even know structurally if a country can afford it. And that's the least of the problems. To have families destroyed over this is just so terrible. I also, and we've already done this, we want no mercury in the vaccine. We want no aluminum in the vaccine. The MMR, I think, should be taken separately. This is based on what I feel the mumps, measles, and the three should be taken separately. And it seems to be that when you mix them, there could be a problem. So there's no downside in taking them separately. In fact, they think it's better, so let it be separate. The chicken pox is already separate because when that got mixed in, I guess they made it four for a while. It really was bad. So they make chicken pox individually. They're okay. When you mix them, something maybe happens. So there's no doubt.
Can I just say there's also a part of me that thinks is part of their weirdness, their obvious uncomfortability, nervousness of it. I'm picking that up from all of them because this is one of those things where they're going over a line and could get killed. So I wonder if that has anything to do with the way this is being rolled up. And someone in the comments keeps saying, you're making excuses for them. I'm not. I've literally just said several times in this video, I'm disappointed with part of the press conference. I'm unhappy, and I've been explaining that. So I'm not going to keep explaining that over and over again. There's also a part where the pharmaceutical industry is one of those industries that runs everything. So if it's similar to the Epstein files, like this is big deal stuff. The pharmaceutical industry, founded by the Rockefellers in the Western frickin' world, right, is to poison us. Hopefully I don't get my YouTube channel deleted today with this Mars square Pluto, and I'm a Scorpio, on every level, poison us on every level. So they're really going against the dark arts people that are trying to keep us low frequency and sick. And I would probably be a little scared too. This is what people can get killed for. Right? Lynn says there was a bomb threat at RFK Jr. That's right. Recently, there was a bomb threat.
Downside in doing it. It's not like, oh, if you do it, bad things. No, it's only good side. And it may not have that much of an impact, but it may have a big impact. So let those be taken separately. And then hepatitis B is sexually transmitted. There's no reason to give a baby that's almost just born hepatitis B. So I would say wait till the baby is 12 years old and formed and take hepatitis B. And I think if you do those things, it's going to be a whole different, it's going to be a revolution in a positive sense in the country.
All right. Moving on, let's finally hear Bobby. Trump talked for most of the time. Bobby talked very briefly and seemed very uncomfortable. I might have to do a separate whole video just on Bobby, astrology and tarot, and also just on Trump, astrology and tarot. So stay tuned for that, you guys, because I feel like there's a lot to unpack here. And let's see what Bobby said.
Autism is a complex disorder with multifactorial etiology. We are continuing to investigate a multiplicity of potential causes with no areas of taboo. One area that we are closely examining, as the president mentioned, is vaccines. Some 40 to 70% of mothers who have children with autism believe that their child was injured by a vaccine. President Trump believes that we should be listening to these mothers instead of gaslighting and marginalizing them like prior administrations. Some of our friends like to say that we should believe all women. Some of these same people have been silencing and demonizing these mothers for 3 decades because research on the potential link between autism and vaccines has been actively suppressed in the past. It will take time for an honest look at this topic by scientists. But I want to reassure the people in the autism community that we will be uncompromising and relentless in our search for answers. We will perform the studies that should have been performed 25 years ago. Whatever the answer is, we will tell you what we find. We are researching this issue to all 3 agencies. Jay will discuss one of our research initiatives at NIH. This model of unleashing unbiased depoliticize gold standard scientific research and academic freedom to deliver actionable information to prevent and reverse disease will be a model for the framework to deliver similar results from many other chronic conditions that plague Americans.
Okay. We'll take your word for it, and we'll wait for these other upcoming press conferences, Bobby, that you guys are talking about. And this better not. Oh my God. I'm sure a lot of you guys are feeling this too. We've already had the whole thing with the Epstein files. When they do their next one, you better not be coming out and saying that we've discovered that the shots are not causing autism. Okay, that would be a nightmare. That would be really not good. I think he just said it in that clip that I played there, but let's play this one as well. We expect this to be the first of many announcements over the coming years that deliver actual information to parents on underlying causes of autism and the potential paths to prevention and reversal.
I have instructed NIH, FDA, and CMS to help doctors treat children appropriately. Jay will help tell that story, which started with sound science, the kind that restores faith in government. This announcement also represents a historic collaboration between NIH, FDA, CDC, and CMS. We expect this to be the first of many announcements over the coming years that deliver actionable information to parents on underlying cause of autism and the potential paths for prevention and reversal. I have instructed NIH, FDA, and CMS to help doctors treat children appropriately. Jay will help tell that story, which started with sound science, the kind that restores faith in government. This announcement also represents a historic collaboration between NIH, FDA, CDC, and CMS. We expect this to be the first of many announcements over the coming years that deliver actionable information to parents on underlying cause of autism and the potential paths for prevention and reversal.
Ooh. And then we also had, what's this guy's name? This other dude's name? There's Bhattacharya, and then there's this other guy who said the FDA announced a treatment for autistic children called leucovorin. I'm probably saying that wrong. Which 2/3 of children who took it had improvement. This is caused by a folate deficiency in a child's brain that can lead to autism. Okay, interesting. So we're going to see how that plays out, the supposed treatment.
I'm also here to announce good news. Today, the FDA is filing a Federal Register notice to change the label on an exciting treatment called prescription leucovorin so that it can be available to children with autism. You know, autism may also be due to an autoimmune reaction to a folate receptor on the brain, not allowing that important vitamin to get into the brain cells. It's a fairly established, mature pathway. Again, we have a duty to let doctors and the public know we are going to change the label to make it available. Hundreds of thousands of kids, in my opinion, will benefit. One study found that with kids with autism and chronic folate deficiency, 2/3 of kids with autism symptoms had improvement, and some marked improvement. Mr. President, I'm also here to announce good news.
Interesting. We will see how that goes. Want to play this clip as well from RFK Jr. What year was this? Years ago, discussing the links between shots and autism.
Soon after that, this nurse practitioner who was very famous, she testified before Congress 6 times. She was a public health official in Georgia, advisor to the Pentagon. She was an advisor to NIH, universally respected, revered. She came to me with a transcript of a secret meeting with, I think, 52 vaccine industry officials from all the regulatory agencies, FDA, CDC, NIH, the European Medical Association, the WHO. They all had a secret meeting in a off CDC campus because they didn't want it to be subject to freedom of information requests. And they had convened this meeting because all these mothers who were complaining to CDC that my kid got poisoned by a vaccine and got autism, they actually did a study and they used the biggest database in the country called the Vaccine Safety Data Link, which is it's the vaccination records from the top 10 HMOs from millions of clients. They looked at the hepatitis B vaccine given during the first 30 days, and they'd compare that to kids who got it later or didn't get it at all. That vaccine, which is loaded with mercury. And what they found is kids who got it during the first 30 days had an 1,135% greater chance of getting a later autism diagnosis. And they knew right then what was causing the autism epidemic. Autism had gone from 1 in 10,000 in my generation, and it still is in 69-year-old men, to 1 in 34 in my kids' generation. And all these mothers were saying it's the vaccine. And Sarah Bridges was one of them. And the vaccine court agreed until it became prohibited to acknowledge that. So they knew. And I don't know how it happened, but somebody had transcribed that meeting. And I published them in Rolling Stone magazine and in Salon simultaneously. And then Salon withdrew it 6 years later, withdrew the article, and then Rolling Stone finally, 16 years later during the pandemic, when Rolling Stone was taken over by pharmaceutical people, they also withdrew it. And that was the beginning of my battle with the pharmaceutical industry.
Wow. He's been in this for a long time. I think this is, okay, one more clip of RFK and then something else. And then got to finish up because I got to do a reading soon. Let me put this at a faster speed here. So RFK's been talking about this. He knows. RFK Jr. reveals the CDC found that a shot's autism rate was higher than smoking is for lung cancer. The CDC hid the findings. Oh, sorry, you guys, I got to bring this up. So many clips today. Okay, here it is.
In 1999, CDC was also alarmed by the same thing that you described with the parents. So they decided to do an internal study of their own database, which is called the Vaccine Safety Data Link. It's the medical records, including the vaccination records, of 10 million kids from the 10 biggest HMOs. So it's all the cumulative medical records from all those HMOs, and they're all housed in one place. And they said, let's see if these mercury vaccines are causing autism. So they look at one vaccine. They can look at every vaccine record, and then they can look at your medical claims to see if you had seizure disorders or allergies, or if you have an autism diagnosis. They can do a cluster analysis, and they can look for associations. So they looked at the hepatitis B vaccine, which is loaded with mercury, during the first 30 days of life. They looked at kids who got it during the first 30 days. They compared them to kids who did not get it during the first 30 days, who got it later or didn't get it at all. And here's what they found. The relative risk of smoking a pack of cigarettes a day for 20 years and lung cancer is 10. This was 11.35. They knew.
Is that because of thimerosal?
What was causing from thimerosal. This is what the story that got me involved, because they pushed the panic button and they had a secret meeting. They didn't want to do it on the CDC campus because they thought it would be susceptible to freedom of information requests. So they did it in a remote Methodist retreat center on the banks of the Chattahoochee River in Norcross, Georgia, and it was called Simpsonwood. They had a 2-day meeting with 52 individuals, including all the major vaccine companies, regulatory agencies that administer vaccines, WHO, CDC, FDA, NIH, HHS, and the leaders, the leading academic vaccinators, so the people who basically conduct clinical trials and make hundreds of millions of dollars for medical schools around this country. And the first day, and somebody made and recorded that meeting. We don't know why. We don't know if they knew they were being recorded, but I got a hold of the transcripts in 2005, and it is horrific. It's a nightmare. Any of your listeners can go to our website see Zero Children's Health events and read those transcripts and make up your own mind about what happened. And you see the pangerms of the American healthcare system, these regulators who are supposed to be protecting us for the first day, they're looking at the science and they are saying it's bulletproof. We are causing autism. It was a 2-year committee hearing.
Wowzers. Oh my goodness. And I know it's a I'm seeing some of your comments. It's a heated issue, you guys. Very heated issue. I think there's many things causing autism. Pretty obvious what some of those things are. And I totally agree. K Napper 6 says it is a start, but still we want it all. 100%. Napper 6, it's a start, but still we want it all. Site currently under revision says after voluntarily taking a shingles prevention shot on the recommendation of a family member, I was bedridden for over 2 weeks and just shy of being taken to the hospital. That's the last I'll take. That's what happened to one of my personal family members. The other one also shot injured, but had it happen a different way. When you've had that close to home happening, it's undeniable. And many of us have had that happen, right? Want to finish with playing a clip from Mary Holland, the president and CEO of Children's Health Defense, the organization against children, protecting children, informing families about the links between autism and shots. Mary Holland, the president of Children's Health Defense. This is her take on the press conference. Let's take a little listen.
I do know that the leaks suggest this is focused on Tylenol. Tylenol is toxic to the liver and babies can't metabolize it. But this is not the autism report. I pray we'll get the autism report by the end of the month. Bobby Kennedy, as secretary, said we would get that in an April announcement. 1 in 31 children are diagnosed with autism, which is simply to say toxic exposure induced brain injury. I don't know that he's going to talk about other factors. We know that Tylenol is not what's driving this epidemic, Steve. Vaccines are driving this epidemic. 88% of cases of autism are plausibly regressive. In other words, a toddler or a baby has some kind of environmental exposure and they tank. And we know that vaccines have aluminum, they have mercury, they have polysorbate 80, they have all kinds of things, formaldehyde, that they cannot metabolize, they cannot detox. Vaccines are what needs to be focused on. I don't know that that's the focus of what's going to happen today, but this is not over. This is just kind of a baby step, sort of like what we saw at the advisory committee.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Because hey, you know the way Washington works. You toss out something and Big Pharma, then all the media says, okay, it's over. That's what they did. Boom. And then we lose momentum on the big enchilada. If we don't finish what we started here, then the whole thing was like, what are we doing? Right. Particularly put forth the data. I'm not even saying in the banning. I want to just get the official data out so we can adjudicate this in the public. And MSNBC can't say the Children's Health Defense, a bunch of wingnuts. It's a cult around Bobby Kennedy. And we can, this is why, and I'll be honest with you, I think HHS, and I'll be blunt, Stephanie Spear and the entire crowd over there, I think they've done a horrific job of putting forward the evidence that's overwhelming about this topic. And I'm just concerned that, and this, look, there's no tougher group of hombres than Big Pharma. This is a cash cow. It's a cash machine. And they're just not going to sit there and go, oh, Mary Holland and Bobby Kennedy and in the war room and a bunch of harpies over at the Children's Health Defense. They're gonna genuflect to that. They're gonna bend to that. That ain't gonna happen. They're coming at this as hard. You're gonna see the hardest of the hardball played in Washington. So tell me, make me feel better because the process to date has not been great. I'll be honest. The CDC thing on the vaccine, it was, and not just that. But hang on, for Dr. Malone, they literally lifted from this audience and Naomi Wolf, basically the research that this audience did under Naomi Wolf and Amy Kelly at the CDC thing, and then did it on card tables like it's some kind of sideshow. That's not the way to do it. It's not the way to do it. It's just not the way to do it. If you're going to be serious about this, and HHS has not proven to us in the war room that they are serious about actually laying out the data in a super professional way and in a Washington, D.C. kind of big way with scale, because it's all minor league baseball. And I got to tell you, this Tylenol thing stinks to high heaven. Not the fact that Tylenol causes it, but to do it today, and then you're never going to see a report. It's just going to kind of fade into memory. Make me feel better, Mary Holland.
I don't believe that, Steve. We're going to see a report, and Bobby Kennedy, whom I've worked with for many years, is really about data. He really is about science, and they haven't gotten all the data they need. I believe
that's what I felt during the press conference, and why Bobby was so nervous is the pharmaceutical companies have been blocking proper peer-reviewed studies between the link of shots and autism. We do have some things, but when you're going to come out with the president of the United States and you're the Health and Human Services Secretary, you need to have very clear scientific evidence, right, of what you're talking about. And I feel that's part of why he was nervous too. I'm not excusing them. Again, I am disappointed that we didn't hear exactly what we wanted, but I do understand that these things take time, right? Crazy ass times. And I love hearing this take from Mary Holland and hearing her talk about RFK as well.
the data is going to show overwhelmingly that vaccines are the driver for vaccine-induced autism, vaccine-induced brain injury. But I agree with you. Today may be something of a sideshow. Tylenol is not the primary cause. Vaccines are the primary cause.
And again, they didn't say in the press conference that Tylenol is the only cause. They said they have found that that is a cause, and they are going to continue to let us know as things unfold what the other causes are.
Know that from lots of different sources of information, and we cannot let this go. And let me assure you, CHD is about ending the epidemics of chronic disease, as Bobby Kennedy is. And if this is a sideshow, we're not going to let this go. We're going to keep pushing that we have to keep going until we get the real data. The vaccine safety data link is the repository of information, and that has not yet been opened up.
And Wolf Mother, totally agree with you. At least the subject is out in the open. Exactly. So, okay, you guys, I have to finish today's video right on time. Thank you all so much for joining me. Very intense energy out there. Mars square Pluto, Sun opposite Saturn. We're in an eclipse hangover. I'll be live for my daily astrology horoscope for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all so much for all of your support. I love you all so, so much. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel, comment below, share if you would like to. I really appreciate all the support. And again, my husband Jens, we're so excited. He's going to start a new weekly show over on his YouTube, Rumble, and X channels called The Freedom Frequency. Whoop, whoop. So go subscribe to Jens Pateo over on his YouTube or Rumble. He'll be live tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, for The Freedom Frequency. And Jens is so awesome because, as I said earlier, and I'm not just saying this because he's my husband, he's a published author, conspiracy, consciousness, spiritual expert, and he has a very good discerning perspective, which I think is very important during these times. So tomorrow on his first episode, he's going to talk about Trump and Starmer AI deal. Very excited for that. If you'd like to check out my offerings, social media links, that's all in the description below. Love you all so much. Stay well out there, very intense times, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everyone.